Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. So, I always like to start with a video because it's like candy before dinner. So we're gonna start straight with a video. So hello, my name is Kyle Ruddick. I'm founder and director of One Day on Earth. And I wanted to give you a little backstory. The project was started in 2008. It was really just an idea I had while listening to music being played by musicians from around the world who didn't speak the same language. But the ability of music to be so immediate and to be an immediate form of communication in a matter of minutes, these people were making music together in front of me that was incredible. I felt that cinema had a similar ability, and that immediacy could be transformed by filming at nearly all the same time all over the world. So I had this idea, what if people all over the world filmed during one day and shared that together and shared it online and had their individual perspectives, but to also make a film out of that. It was a big idea, and it was sort of one of those things where I just initially was just sort of emailing, creating a list. It was just like I had a creative agency, and I had a couple interns and a couple friends, and we just started asking our friends, and we built this list of people from around the world. It was representing about 120 countries over about a year of sort of just this grassroots sort of collaboration of a few filmmakers that seemed really interested on Vimeo and other places. At this point, we collectively decided we needed a new piece of media, something that would expand the project further and get more people interested, more people into telling their story and being part of this experiment. And so we collected a lot of our footage together, and we cut together a trailer before the film for the film. And this was sort of integral in creating the inspiration for a lot of people to participate in the project. So I'll share that with you now. So this is not filmed on 10-10-10. This is sort of a collection of demo reels that we put together to get other people to think about what they might do.
Everyone should participate in One Day on Earth because we are attempting to create a voice of the world. If you believe in something, if you have one message you could put in the world's time capsule, one story that you can put in the record of history, we hope that you will be inspired and really go out and find it and put it in the capsule, put it in a document, put it in our film. On October 10th, 2010, participants from every country in the world will collectively film the 24-hour period. We ask that you be one of them. Please sign up to participate at www.onedayonearth.org.
So that was a very important moment for us to be able to kind of come together and make a piece of media and really inspire more people to be part of the project. This was around 2010, and a few months prior to this, I'd been pitching Brandon, my now business partner, for I think a year prior, and you thought, I was like, you're crazy. But then, like, I kept...
You are.
But you know, a year later, I had quite a bit more put together, and he came on board to the project and really helped expand it in so many different ways. And I wanted to sort of pass it on to him because he helped manage a lot of incredible partnerships that we've built that really this wouldn't have been possible without.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. And it was an interesting moment for me over the course of the year, learning about this project, everything that Kyle said, reaching out to people, and trying to grow this initiative. And Kyle mentioned, you know, that list grew to about 120 countries. And I'm sure in this room right now, this is a really diverse crowd, an amazing festival. And right now, we could probably get to a couple hundred countries if we just take out our cell phones and start calling people. But to get to the other 72-ish countries, you need some partnerships. You need to think strategically about how you're going to get there, because those people are not watching Vimeo, they're not online. So Kyle said, hey, you live in New York, you should pitch the UN. And I said, sure. So
it was kind of that simple.
It was a little bit, it was actually weird. Well, first thing we had to do is we had to buy some suits. But we wound up making a presentation to some amazing now partners. And what's interesting is a lot of people think that these sort of partners that you see here in this slide have a closed door to these sort of initiatives, or that they're deluged with proposals. And that may be so, but the good ideas do rise to the top. And immediately we got traction with UNDP, who is in 166 countries. And so through a strategic partnership with UNDP, we were able to send cameras to areas of low bandwidth and then be able to network within the existing networks that are there. And that's a very important part if you're trying to map the world. If you're trying to get to everywhere in the world, you have to use existing networks to do that. So with that said, it's not just about sending cameras there, of course, because you also have to get the data back. So through the relationship also, our filmmakers were able to literally drop off their data cards, their tapes, to the UN office, and then the UN office sent it back to us in New York. So it was a really unique partnership. Nothing like this has been done before with the UN. And then once that partnership was able to get galvanized, the other partners came on board. Right now, actually, I think in the last trailer you saw 60 nonprofit partners. We have over 100 now. So we have this amazing amount of activity going on through the community and through partnerships, and we're putting out trailers. Kyle is an amazing editor, director, and was really able to cut through on the emotional chord that needed to be hit. But as producers, you don't know if you're actually going to get there. You know people are listening, but you don't know if they're going to show up. And there was a really interesting moment for both of us in this project when late one night, we were on a 24-hour clock, always available for our community. And late one night, a young guy in South Africa posted a video and sent it to us and said, hey, what do you think about this? And as you'll see from this next trailer we're about to play, we definitely knew at the end of watching this trailer that the message wasn't just being heard, but it was being acted on.
We all have our stories to tell. Look at me. I'm mostly shy and quiet. Often I prefer being alone, completely captured in a world of imagination and ideas. I laugh, I think, I cry. As an African, I fear our land. Corruption, hatred, anger, they are rife here, carried through generations of violence and discrimination. Sometimes people forget we are free. Oh, I have stories to tell. South Africa has stories to tell. We all have our own story. Things happen, memories are created. Imagine looking back at the world 100 years from now. Culture, technology, and society will have changed. But the human spirit, will it have changed? Will we as people have lost the very thing that makes us human? I can't answer that. I'm Michael Stribek, and I'm an African. What's your story?
So I'm not a crier. I try not to be. But when we got this, I mean, it hit us hard because we're working for years. Kyle for more years than I, and finally you start hearing that people were responding and that people were interested, not just in participating but promoting it. This was an unsolicited trailer. And that's like that moment of inflection where you're just like, okay, we've got this. So with that said, we now know that people are listening, and we need to set up a pipeline now to get all of this media because we got a lot.
Yeah, I think at that point we knew people were going to show up, which was really like, you know, after, as you said, like kind of devoting your life to this thing. And
what did you say? Earlier you said the invites were out.
The invites were out and people were coming. And with Michael, it was an interesting thing, you know, just as a side note. He ended up filming an environmental topic because of one of the partnerships we formed with 350.org. And so we were connecting a filmmaker with a cause, and he was inspired to share this part of South Africa that, you know, where they were doing some great work. That said, on to where we were now. We have all these people, we have the site, people are signing up. Sometimes 300 people are signing up to the site a day. So it's like this incredible energy that you feel, and it's sort of, everybody on the site is a social networking platform. So this is sort of, so you understand, you know, I won't belabor this slide too much because there's a lot of arrows and a lot of things, but we knew that every person who contributed to this project needed to be recognized for their individual contribution. So the idea of putting this on a geotagged map, gaining as much information about what they were doing when they uploaded their content to the website, and also making sure that they had an individual web page that displayed their own video and an ability for other members of the community to interact with each other was sort of the basis for this participatory project and how we felt the engine could work. In addition to that, because what eventually amounted to over 3,000 hours of footage that needed to become a feature film, all of the content that was uploaded through the website was, you know, geotagged, but also we had quite a bit of information that came along with it, with the description, the language, the topic, and all of that we opened up to the public and an archive, as a display, as a piece, as an incentive. Whether, you know, the movie itself, you know, we can't unfortunately tell all of the stories that everyone told. We can't even tell the story of every country, but we certainly could tell a story of humanity. And so that said, you know, if you watch the film and you're interested in a specific part of the film, you could always come to the website and actually find the filmmaker who made that part of the film and actually contact them. And so it becomes this really sort of new way of thinking about crediting the experience. So this is the archive and a map.
We just searched, this is a capture we did earlier, we just searched for markets. So this is all the footage from markets that came in from the archive, and we just zoomed into Yemen.
Right. So this person, you know, filmed in Yemen. He filmed some beautiful footage. And, you know, it became part of the final film. The important thing about this is we also made sure that there was, you know, every cause has a way to be searched for. So everyone knows the archive is also, it's online on our website, but it's also in the lobby here, if after the talk you'd like to see more of it. What I'd like to say a little bit about the process from here was this was an editorial tool as well as a living, breathing hub for the community. So not only are we able to provide this way for people to interact, but as we're going through, we were constantly searching through this archive for a different piece of footage, a different piece of content. And we were also able on the back end to export the database into an Excel file, which eventually could become a folder of content within Final Cut Pro. Without this sort of methodology, we never would have been able to organize things, and it still took about a year of post-production to make the final film, which was in part because we had over 75 languages to translate.
Actually, there's 90 languages, 240 hours of straight dialogue.
Okay, so 90 languages. I'm
Don't
staying correct.
shortchange us, man.
Well, there was a period I remember about 2 months into translation where we still had 20 languages that we hadn't even identified yet. And it was sort of like this crazy thing, but we really relied on the community, again, to help translate this. We had people in every country in the world, so it was really a matter of going back to the filmmaker or going to other people in that country that maybe didn't film and having them contribute through translation. So, fast forward a little bit forward, we have our film now, and I would like to share with you the real value proposition was both this map and this community, but also a feature film. So I'd like to share with you the trailer.
Il était une fois fin.
Pas une histoire plus longue?
Si, bien sûr que si.
All these different minds, different views, different thoughts interconnected.
Action.
So, I could not be any more proud of a friend than I was when I saw the film Kyle directed. It did a lot for me, and it did a lot for everyone on the team. But now the important part at this time was how do you share it? All of the great work that's being done here, all of the great work that our peers have done, is inspiration, but the real vision of a filmmaker is trying to get that vision out there. And it's not just out to the people that, because of the nature of this project, the people that have access to cinemas. We wanted to make sure that this film was seen everywhere. So in partnership with the UN and a handful of our other nonprofit partners, we shared the film in 160 countries on the same day, on Earth Day of this year. Here are some photos from these screenings. This was at the General Assembly of the United Nations, which was an amazing experience. This was in Congo, Brazzaville. they're even wearing One Day on Earth T-shirts, which is, we don't even have T-shirts.
Yeah, we don't have T-shirts, so I don't know how that happened.
Made it Congo Brazzaville.
Yeah.
This is Turkmenistan. So for us, this is an ongoing project, of course. And so with all of these screenings and with all of this growth and partnerships, we are planning to do this every year. We did it again on 11/11/11. We're doing it again on 12/12/12. That said, I think we have a little bit more time left to show a piece of the film.
Yeah, I'd like to show more than just the trailers. I figured that a section of the film would be exciting to see. So as I said, the film was inspired by music. And we received probably 300-400 hours of live musical content, whether it was someone wrote a song, was playing in a band outside, or it was traditional music from all over the world. And we really wanted to integrate this as much as we could into the soundtrack. So I'll just play the clip, and I could talk more about how this clip actually came to be, because we used this technique in 3 different places within the film.
This is in Ruddick Primary School, ready to entertain you. Thank you.